I'm Douglas Williams, and I've always lived in West Cornwall. From here, on high, flat-topped Trencrom Hill, capped by an ancient fortress, is a seagull's eye view of our peninsula. On one side, Mounts Bay and St. Michael's glorious mount. On the other, St. Ives Bay and Hale. In my work as a journalist, and with my interest in the history and traditions of this land, I've come to know and love the individual beaches and coves, the gardens and moorlands, the villages, and the peaceful Cornish lanes. The sea is master. It is all around us. And the beauty of this tip of England has been enriched and strengthened by these sweeping Atlantic waters, with their ever-changing moods and vibrant colours. Little wonder that our visitors feel they are in a different country, Cornwall's island kingdom. Penzance, the Cornish name means holy headland, grew from a small fishing village. Today it is the centre of our district, a delightful market town. A magnificent promenade overlooks Mounts Bay, and there is a busy working harbour. Yet it retains an old world style, with its many charming locally owned shops and tucked away treasures. There are echoes of pirates and smugglers in Chapel Street, which winds its way from the quayside to the town centre, as it has done for centuries. The heart of Penzance is a garden. Within a stone's throw of the busy shopping area are these open, spacious marble gardens full of gorgeous warmth and colour. Hello. Old men remember when you could walk across the ancient Mousehole harbour along the rows of fishing boats that crowded in. It was then the busiest port in the bay. Today it is a very popular holiday village, full of character and tradition. The most breathtaking panorama of sea and sky, beach and headland comes from high on a coastal cliff. Looking down on the white sands and turquoise waters of Pedney Vounder and Porthcurno beyond are the remains of a 2,000-year-old cliff castle, Treen Dinas. Here stands 80-ton Logan Rock, celebrated for its ancient rocking tradition, but dislodged by a young naval officer, Lieutenant Goldsmith, over 150 years ago. A public outcry forced him to replace the stone, at his own expense. Suddenly, the footpaths become gateways that open onto the most exciting views in Europe. And wherever you wander here, history and legend are linked with fact and fable. The Celtic saints came marching, sailing, and floating in during the 6th century. Some of their holy wells remain, such as this one at St. Leven. Outside the little church is a huge granite boulder, broken in two by the saint's staff. He prophesied, "When, with panniers astride, a packhorse can ride through St. Leven's Stone, the world will be done." The gap is said to be widening, but ever so slowly. That first view of Sennan Cove as you come down the steep hill is breathtaking. There are the golden sands and magnificent sailing, canoeing and surfing seas in this green cliffside setting. There have been few changes down the years at the charming Penberth Cove, with its own spirit of friendliness and continuity. The local fishermen still work from the granite slipway for the fish and the lobsters in Mounts Bay. Richard Matthews, who has lived in the cove all his life, brings in his catch on board the Kellinmore and cleans it in the stream near his home. On the cliffs near Pendeen stand reminders of Cornwall's industrial past. After 2,000 years of mining in St. Just and Pendeen, the last working mine, Giver, came to a standstill in 1990. Visitors can now tour the complex, led by a local guide. The nearby Levant engine house has been renovated by the National Trust. A dedicated team of volunteers from the Trevithick Society has restored the original steam engine. The narrow lanes are an adventure. Here, just a short distance from the busy beaches, you can walk along in your own private world. There's always something new to discover as you walk around each secret corner, some in bright sunlight and others in mysterious shadow. St. Michael's Mount is a favorite National Trust attraction. About 150,000 people visit the castle each year. You can stroll there along a cobbled causeway from Marazion. But at high tide, the mount becomes an island, and the boatmen provide the pleasure of a sea trip. Harbour Master Frank O'Donnell ferried me there on a lovely summer morning. Legend tells that the mount was built by the huge giant Cormoran, slain by Jack the Giant Killer, and that on a high ledge of rock, the Archangel St. Michael appeared to local fishermen 1,500 years ago. Pilgrims came in their thousands. Now the path is trod by holidaymakers with equal enthusiasm. If you want the most memorable first view of St. Ives, then travel by train along the coast from St. Erth or Lelant, and be bewitched by the panorama of this wonderful bay. Then you can revel in the view of the many glorious beaches of Hale, Carbis Bay and St. Ives. There's even one in the centre of St. Ives Harbour. artists came here and to Newlyn over a century ago, they continue to be fascinated by the sensations of light and colour. The works of many leading artists can be seen in the Tate Gallery overlooking Porthmeor Beach, including this spectacular stained glass window by Patrick Heron. This museum garden at St Ives is filled with the works of sculptor Dame Barbara Hepworth, who sought her inspiration from the shapes and forms of the Cornish landscape. From sculpture to Cornish antiquities. This old stone, the Mennon Tall on the Madron moorland, is big enough to climb through. They say it will miraculously cure your backache. Lanyon Quoit, a three-legged giant, is a splendid example of a 4,000-year-old Penwith tomb, and there are many places where religious ceremonies were held centuries ago. If you visit the Merry Maidens at St Buryan, you may see the girls and the piper who are turned to stone for dancing on a Sunday. The walks and the coastal paths have excitement as well as grandeur. Every day is new with a dramatic range of colours and moods. Whatever the time of year, there's something fresh to see. Land's End is the best-loved landmark in England. Just to stand on the cliffs and look out to the Longship Lighthouse and the Isles of Scilly is to conjure up the Cornish magic of that lost land of Lioness. Those majestic cliffs of Gurnards Head and Zennor, right along the north coast, are unequalled in Europe. Cape Cornwall, with its tall mine stack standing guard over the western approaches, has recently been presented to the National Trust. The engine houses of Batalic, precariously perched on the cliff edge, tell more of the great industrial history and the lives of the tinners who worked here. Our open-air Minnack Theatre by the sea at Porthcurno was created from a garden over 50 years ago. It attracts eager audiences each week to the summer night performances of plays and musicals. This is the West Cornwall experience. The best beaches, and the most spectacular 50 miles of coastline in Britain. You can still walk for miles and see hardly a soul. You can feel the magic all around you, as clear and deep as the ever-present sea.